Hi, this is Jody. Welcome back. Do you have a whole bunch of greeting cards just laying around? Or this is an idea that I have been doing for a long time. So I go onto a free cycle website. You can do Craigslist, Marketplace, whatever you want. Put an ad in saying, I will take your old greeting cards of any, it doesn't matter what, if it's sympathy, birthday, Christmas, whatever, because they are wonderful ways of recycling the cards into beautiful things, recycling them into another greeting card, putting them into journals. There's many ways to recycle. These here have all been recycled, so they were once a used greeting card, and I have taken them and made different things with them. So let's go look through these. So this one here, let me zoom in just a tad so we can see each greeting card. So this one here was a Christmas greeting card. All I did was cut out the image on the front of the card, rounded the edges, glued it onto some cardstock, and now I have a new blank card. You can do more on the inside. I'm a very simple person, so I think less is more. But you can do something on the inside, put more stickers, you can do some collaging or however you want to do it. But this is how, I'm just going to show you, I'm not going to show you every single step of how I made it, but I'm going to give you some ideas on how I did mine. So this was a used greeting card. I put it onto cardstock to make a new one. This one here, what I did is, this was the front of a greeting card. I rounded the edges, joyful greetings. I took this green heavy cardstock, and what I did is I made the back a little farther out so that I could do a message here. I can do some stamping, I can do some ribbon here, some lace, but this is my platform for making this new card. So some of these are not completely 100% finished because maybe I want to use these to send out to my family, and maybe I want to personalize them. So this is an idea. Now this one here was probably a birthday. So what I did is I took this image out of a magazine, and it's got a girl, she's got peppermint oil and she's refreshing herself. So this I thought was really cute. It matched this card. So this is the face of the card, and I put it onto cardstock, and I put a thank you, stamped a thank you in it. And so I have made this into a new card. Here is another one. So this is a vintage photo, and I put it onto a layer of other cardstock. I put thank you here, and I put it on a black piece, and on the inside I will do another type of message on the inside that will be really pretty and coordinating with this. Maybe I will do some music paper and do some brown, vintage book page or something on it, and do some stamping or write a message on there. So there's another idea. This one here is just really simple. This I just cut out. This is the greeting card. I put it onto yellow cardstock, and I put thank you on it. Okay. Here is another one. So this is the face of the greeting card, and I put it onto a different cardstock, and then I put thank you here. And I make these, I do a lot of these for my Etsy sales. So I make these, I recycle the greeting card and make them into beautiful thank yous for people, and I will write a message in here or over here. So that's an idea too if you're an Etsy seller. Here is another one. This is just a front, like a postcard type. It says with special thanks. I thought it was really cute. So I made it into a card, and all I did was just collage on the back, and then I'll write a message on the back. So this is kind of like a postcard one. Here is a Christmas one. Again, I cut out the front of the card and I put it onto white cardstock, and I made a new greeting card, and you can stamp or write your message in there or do some more. Okay, let's do this one. So again, here is another greeting card. This is the outside of the card, warmest holiday wishes, and I made it into a new greeting card. Okay, this one was a long greeting card. So what I did is I cut out the card and I put it onto white cardstock and I scalloped the edges, and now I have a new greeting card. Okay. Okay, same thing with this one. So this was the greeting card, and I did some little fancy corner punches and put it on some really pretty coordinating colors for this. And it's 2 teddy bears. You can use it for any occasion. So I put thank you on it. And you can even do more stuff down here if you wanted. Again, here is another Christmas one. So this is the card. I did some fancy edging here, Silent Night, and put it onto cardstock. So now I have another gift card or greeting card. Okay, this one here, I love this one. This is Season's Greetings. So again, rounded the corners, I put it onto some cardstock, and then I'll make a inside message on here. Okay, this one I made for a journal. So I took a file folder. This is the whole file folder right here. You can see it. I folded it in half and I put on the front of this greeting card. So now it becomes like a large journaling card if you have a large book, or you can cut this down, of course, smaller to fit a journal. But now it can go in a journal, and it has a tab on it. And you can decorate it up or use it just as is, but that's another idea. Here's another one, same thing. This is the actual part of the card. I put it onto cardstock and made a thank you out of it. Really simple. Okay, here's another Christmas one. You can stamp a greeting here or leave it plain, however you want. And I put it in here, and now we'll do another inside one here. Okay, and then, so I have this one here. I made a flip up type one. So this one has a beautiful front of a card here. You flip it up. And this is what I mean about putting another card on the inside with your message. And then this one says thank you on it. So I like that black. Here is just a little joy to the world. I cut this piece out and I put it on cardstock and remade it into another card. Okay, then this one. So this one has happy birthday wishes. I took a sticker and I put over top of it, and I haven't finished it yet, but I can put another message here. You know, you can definitely take, book words and put on here if you want. Stamp on it. So I just did that message and I put a thank you here, so I could actually find a thank you message and put here. So this is reusing a gift card again. Okay, now these did a little bit, this one here is just an S, and I cut it out. I'm not really finished with it. I want to make it actually like a tag, so I'm going to cut the corners or do a fancy scalloped edge. And then this, I just put some book page, tea-dyed paper over it and did a little, so it just looks like a vintage card. So I will make this into actually a tag and do that. Okay, so now these, I did a little bit of collaging, and I want to show you how I did that. Let me grab my glue. So I use Art Glitter glue. And so what I did here, so let's take this one for example. So this one was part of the card. It probably had a sentiment here. So what I did, and this is my little secret tip, actually let me grab, I'll show you and then I'll do one. So this is the card. This is the message that was here that I didn't want. So I collaged over it, put this little, like a doily piece or a crocheted piece, put thank you on it. So I made this into a thank you card. So, and then I did just 2 fancy edges on this side. This one I did the same thing. I love this card. It had beautiful flowers and birds, but I didn't like I think it was a sympathy maybe. So what I did is I did some tea-dyed paper. No. This was actually a very old vintage greeting card that had this little image on it. And so I put that on there and made it into a thank you card. I'll show you how I did that. This one again is the same thing. So this one has some music notes, and then I took these little pumpkin cutouts of scraps and put on these two because there was a message here, and then I made it into a thank you card. It makes a nice fall one. Now this one here, I did little cutouts of vintage book pages. I punched 3 of them out and I put it to cover the words. And so now I have this beautiful, nice message card. It says thank you, and it's really cute. Okay. Then the last one, this was like a tri-fold greeting card. So again, here there was a message. I think this was a sympathy one. So I did a collage piece here of scrap. Okay, I just tore the edges and put that over the message. And then I took this beautiful picture of a vintage lady here, kind of collaged it onto this, motif here. Then I opened it up. There was message here. I did some punch outs and did this here. This one here was the same. I did some punch outs to cover the words. And then I did this one here to cover these words. And then here is the main sentiment that I layered up and did a message. Okay, and then on the back, I did the same thing, covered up the words, did a little collage, and put this message here. All right, so now what I'll do is I'll show you. Let me grab something and I'll show you how I did that. Let me find a card. Anything else? Okay, so I have a piece of vintage paper. All right, so I'm going to show you how I do this. So just take your paper, rip it to the size that you want. Okay, so I want to cover up this here. So I want to make it a little bit shorter to cover that, but I don't want to make it too big where it goes into the pink over there. So this is what I want to show you. So take your glue and just glue around the edge of the letters. Let me zoom down just a tad bit more so you can see real good. So all you do is glue, and I use art glitter glue for this. Just glue around the edges of the words that you are trying to cover, and just make it a random, just a random piece, and then fill it in. Okay, so it's all filled in there. Got a little too much there. Take your paper, and then also if you want to, vintage the edges. Oh boy, there was lots of ink on that one. Sorry. Okay. So then take your paper and put it over top of where you want that. And then you have it covered. And then you can write another message here or do some stamping on there. Okay. So you have that. And then another way is if you have a hard time just trying to like cut out the piece, you can also take your paper. You can take your paper and say you want to cover just this piece here. Put some glue around it like this. Okay, fill it in the middle. And then take your paper. Say I want this piece here. This is just an example. I'm not going to do this for real. And then just put your paper over top of it. And then glue it down. And then let this sit overnight. So then what you do is once the glue is adhered to it, then it will just rip, and it will make a generic rip right around only what you've glued in. So it's really neat, and you could have done it the same way this way too. So I could have put the whole piece of paper over top of it, put the glue only where I wanted it, and then when it's dry, you just rip the paper away, and then your image is hidden behind it. So that is just a tip. So then you just let this dry, and then tomorrow you come back and then you just rip because the glue will stick to the paper and your image will be hidden behind it. So I don't think I can do it now because it's, it's not adhered yet, but well, it's almost. Art Glitter Glue is really good, but see, then you can just rip exactly where you put the glue and you have an organic edge and it's all sealed. So then you just rip it away, see? See, because the glue is stuck to it, and then you just rip it away. So then your image is all hidden behind wherever you glued. So anyways, that is my tip on how to recycle greeting cards, and definitely, use them. Most people just throw them away, so definitely, ask for them. So anyways, that is my tip for reusing greeting cards. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me, and have a great day. All right, bye-bye.